Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to this online Sunday feast. As we all know that we have just celebrated Janmashtami in a very, very glorious way on a very, very big scale. And Janmashtami is often told as the preparation for Radhashtami. So today we wanted to hear from Srila Prabhupada, and just because we have, and also because we have finished celebrating Janmashtami, so I thought it would be very appropriate to again prepare our consciousness for the next festival which is upcoming, and simultaneously hear from Srila Prabhupada. So we thought of hearing Srimati Radharani's Appearance Day lecture. This is a lecture based on the 18th chapter, shloka number 5. After this, we will share some realizations from this lecture. And then also, we will take some offerings which devotees may be wanting to offer, if there are any. So that would be the schedule for today's hearing.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Dana. Yogyadana tapah karma, yogyadana tapah karma, natyajang karma karyameva tat, natyajang karyameva tat, yagyodanam tapaschaiva, yagyodanam tapaschaiva, pavanani manishinam, pavanani manishinam, yogyadana tapah karma, yogyadana tapah karma, Natyameva cha eva tat, natyam karyameva tat, yagyodanam tapaschaiva, yagyodanam tapaschaiva, pavanani manishinam, pavanani manishinam.
Yagyodanam tapaschaiva, pavanani manishinam. There are 4 stages of spiritual life. The brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. For brahmachari, yajna. Yajna means to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Varnasama charvata purushena parapaman Vishnu aradhate. The whole scheme, I think I'm feeling very hot. I need to take out. In another place, it is said, Jagyat karma annatra karma bandhana. That's all. That's all right. Keep it now. So, brahmachari, in the beginning of life, brahmachari means beginning of life, student life, they must be trained up how to satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. This is the first training. The brahmachari is trained up to rise early in the morning and offers fire sacrifice, then studies of Vedas, then Sankirtan. There are so many routine work for brahmachari. This must be executed. And for grihastha, dana, charity. Grihastha must be prepared or trained up to give charity. And who will accept the charity? The charity will be accepted by the brahmachari and sannyasi, not the vanaprastha. Brahmachari will accept charity on behalf of the spiritual master. And the sannyasi will accept charity only for his maintenance. That's all. The grihastha cannot accept charity. But a grihastha Brahman, he can accept charity, but he will not, accumulate money by taking charity. Whatever he gets, he must spend. Then, dana pratigraha. Pratigraha means accept. But he cannot keep in bank balance. He must, whatever extra he has got, he must immediately give in charity. Then he can accept. A grihastha brahmana accept charity. There is a proverb in Bengali that a Brahmin, even if he gets 1 lakh of rupees, 100,000 of rupees, still he is a beggar, because he will not keep it. He will not keep it for he will immediately distribute it in charity. That's what he is called in Bengali, lakh taka bound bhikiri. It doesn't matter, he gets 1 lakh of rupees contribution, but he remains a beggar, because immediately he will distribute. So these things are very important things. Jagadana tapo. And for sannyasi and vanaprastha, tapasya. Tapo the bomb. Tapasya means accepting voluntarily all kinds of inconveniences. Voluntarily. Now the material activities are that we are trying to avoid inconveniences. Material life means. But spiritual life means to execute tapasya, austerity, penance, even at the risk of all inconveniences. This is called tapasya. So Krishna says, Jagadana tapakriya no tajyam. You can give up your family life, but you cannot give up this Jagadana tapa. That you can, at any circumstances. These things must be continued. Jagadana tapa. No tajyam, karjam evata. Karjam means must. You must perform. the Mayavadi sannyasis, karma tyagi, they do not work. Their principle is always study Vedanta philosophy and whatever they require, a little they will beg, taking alms from Girihasthas and leave, and follow strictly the principles of austerity. They are very strict. Those who are really Mayavadi sannyasi, not false, they follow strictly 3 times taking bathing. Even in severest cold, they must. They lie down on the floor and always read Vedanta and Sankhya philosophy. But in spite of all these austerities, they do not approve the worship of deity, the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they are impersonalists, they do not worship. So, Shastra says, Jannirvindakha vimuktamanina tai astabhavad abhishuddha buddhaya. So, these people, although they are thinking of themselves as liberated, they have become liberated. The Mayavadi sannyasis address amongst themselves Namo Narayana. Namo Narayana means every one of them has become a Narayan. This is their pleasure. And from this Namo Narayan principle, Vivekananda Swami has manufactured the word Daridra Narayan. So, Narayan has become very cheap thing for them. Everyone has become Narayan, everyone has become God. Yes, they say the rascal God is now in the hospital. God is under operation. The Guruji God. So they have no shame even that if I am God, I cannot cure my bodily pains. What kind of God I am? But this rascal will proclaim that they are God, and there is set of rascals, they will accept, oh, here you go. Vivekananda also said, why you are finding out God here? Don't you see so many gods are loitering in the street? So God has become a funny thing for them. No, we do not accept such God. Our God is different. Our God is Jastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivatai Samattena Javikheta Sapashandi Bhavedrumam. Our Narayan, that is real Narayan, exalted, we cannot even compare with that Supreme Narayana with such demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. What to speak of these rascals? Jastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivatang Samattena Vikheta. Any person, rascal, if he thinks that Narayan is equal to Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, there are Mayavadis, they said any demigod is as good as Vishnu. You can worship any demigod, it doesn't matter, because their ultimate understanding is that the absolute truth is impersonal. And you can imagine any form, it doesn't matter. You ultimately reach that impersonal, merge into the impersonal. This is that philosophy. But that is not the fact. The ultimate issue of the absolute truth is Krishna. Bhagavan. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdati. Absolute truth is realized in three phases. First of all, impersonal Brahma, then localized Paramatma, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam. The absolute truth is described as Bhagavan. And there are many expansions of Bhagavan. Advaita Achyuta Anadi Ananta Rupam. Ananta Rupam. Krishna has expansion millions and trillions. Just like as Paramatma. Ishara sarvabhutanam viddesya arjuna tishtati. Not only he resides in everyone's heart, but in every atom also. Andantarastham paramanuchayantarastham govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. So, Krishna has got many expansions, but they are all one. Advaita Achyuta, just like you have got experience that the sun, where if you have got millions of pots, the sun is reflected. You'll find millions of sun. But although the sun is one, but we see that millions of suns are there in millions of pots. This is the understanding. God is one, but He can expand Himself in millions and trillions. There is no question of counting, unlimited, but it's still one. Advaita, Achyuta. The Mayavadi philosophy is that because God has expanded Himself in so many, all-pervading, therefore He is finished. He is finished. Just like material conception, you take any big paper and make it into pieces and then throw it, the original paper is lost. There is no more existence. That is Mayavadi philosophy. Mayavadi philosophy means because God is all-pervading, therefore He has no form. He has finished His form. There cannot be any form. And this is material conception. This is not spiritual conception. Spiritual conception is Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. If Krishna is the complete, supreme, He expands Himself in millions and trillions of complete form, still He is complete. Still He is complete. This is conception of Krishna. So, therefore Abhaya. Abhaya means Achyuta, Abhaya. Achyuta, when He does not fall. It is not like that in my bank I have got 100 pounds. If I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they say 100 finished, my bank balance is finished. It is not like that. Krishna is so complete that immediate forms may be expanded from Him, still He is complete. Purnasya Purnamadaya. These verses you have already read in the Upanishad. So, That is the concession of Krishna. So unless you, from the very beginning, you practice yoga, or if you are a grihastha, give in charity, and when you take sannyas, you undergo tapasya, how will you understand this philosophy? It is not possible. In the Kali Yuga, however, this yoga is not possible. As they are, the ritualistic yoga, sacrifice as recommended in the Vedas, that is not possible. It is very expensive. There you have to acquire so much ghee and grains and so many other things, feed so many daily people. It is very difficult task to perform the ritualistic yoga. Therefore, Krishna has made easy. What is that? Jaggai sankirtanai prayai jajanti sumedasa. That is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna varnam tisha krishnam shanga pangasta parsadam jaggai sankirtanai prayai jajanti sumedasa. This is the process of performing yajna, yajna tapa. What is that yajna? Krishna varnam tisha Krishna. Krishna varnam. Varna means category. Just like Brahman varna, Chatur varna. Varna means class. Chatur varna maya system guna karma vibhaga, as Krishna said. So Krishna varna, in the category of Krishna. So Krishna varna, or one who is describing Krishna. Varnayati, Krishnam varnayati, iti Krishna varna. Either belonging to the category of Krishna, he is not belonging to the category of the Jiva soul. He belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna varna. Or chanting always the holy name of Krishna, Krishna varna, Tisha of Krishna. But he is Krishna because he belongs to the category of Krishna. Therefore he is Krishna. But we have got conception, Krishna is blackish. Yes, that's a fact. Masitam Buddhasundarangam. Masita. Masita means black. Masitam Buddha. The black cloud, Ambuddha means cloud. Masitambuddha Sundarangam, his complexion is like blackish cloud, but very, 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 very beautiful. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniyam. He's so beautiful that many millions of Cupid cannot be compared with him. Although he is blackish. So, here the same Krishna, Krishna Varna, although he belongs to the same category of Krishna, Tisha by complexion of Krishna. Akrishna. Akrishna means not Krishna. So it may be any other color. It may be, there are so many colors. So Krishna, not Krishna, not blackish, then there may be, but no, there are fixed colors for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shukla raktas tathapita idaning krishnatangataha. When Krishna was born at Nanda Maharaja's place, or Krishna appeared, so according to Vedic system, there is jata karma. As soon as child is born, immediately horoscope is made, and according to horoscope his name is given. There are dasa karma. Dasakarma, so one of these is at the birth. That before the child begotten, there is one sanskar, garbhadhan sanskar. Similarly, after the child is born, then another sanskar, jata karma sanskar. So there are so many sanskaras. Sanskarat bhavid dija. By following this sanskara, purificatory process, one becomes Brahman. The Upanayan sanskara, the sacred third sanskara. So when Krishna was having the Jatakarma sanskara by Gargamuni, the priest of Vasudev, he was sent to Nanda Maharaj to perform on the Krishna's Jatakarma. So he was a learned astrologer. He said, Nanda Maharaj, this son formerly had three other colors. Shukla Raktas Tatha Pita. He was of white color, he was of red color, he was of yellow color. Idaning Krishnata Angata. Now he has appeared in blackish color. Idaning Krishnata. So, Krishna Varnang Tisha Krishnang, Tisha means by complexion. He is not black, then he must be either of the three, white, red and yellow. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's color is yellowish golden color. Therefore it is said, he is Krishna, but now he has appeared in golden complexion. Krishna Varnang Tisha Akrishna. And Shangapangas the Parsadam. He is always surrounded by his associates. Anga Upanga. Anga means personal and Upanga means expansion of the expansion, which is called Kola. The first expansion is called avatar. And when there is another avatar, from avatar, that is called Kola. Ramadi Murti se Kola niyamena tishtan. There is scientific analysis in this Shastra that not that any rascal comes and God. This is not acceptable. We have to understand. Shastra Vidya, Shastra, it is said. Say about because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so many rascals have imitated. Well, this Nimai Pandit, if he can become avatar, then why not Gadadhar Pandit? This Ramakrishna, his name was Gadadhar Chatterjee. So he was also imitation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Where is the reference in the Shastra? So far Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concerned, there are so many innumerable references in Mahabharata, in Bhagavad, in Purana, in Upanishad. Therefore we accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not by rascals board. Let us board this man is God. Then he becomes. So, Krishna Varnam Disha Krishnam Shangapangas Parsadam, he associated with other devotees, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, then Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srinivas, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Whenever Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present, there is so many devotees. Gaur Bhaktavinda. The Sangha Pangas Parsa. This is the incarnation of Kali. So, Jaggai Sankirtanai Prayai Jajanti Sumedhasa. Those who have got brain substance, not dull, filled up with cow dung, they cannot understand what is the Sankirtan Yajna. But Shastra says, Jaggai Sankirtanai Prahi Jajanti hi Sumedhasa. Those who have got nice brain substance, they can perform this Yajna, Sankirtan Yajna, and then it fulfills the injunction of the Bhagavad Gita, Jagadana Tapakya. So for this Sankirtan movement, Sankirtan Yajna, in this age, before the deity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, associated with Nityananda, Advaita, others, if not all, at least Nityananda or Gadadhar, Gaur Gadadhar or Gaur Nityananda, or all of them, 5. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, they have got Panchatattva, no picture here. It was there.
When we got Nana Swami takes within traveling.
All right. They go Nityananda is here, that's all right. So, this is the Yajna. So, Jagadana Tapakriya, not that jam. You cannot give her any stage of life. But because the Yajnas mentioned in the Vedas, it is not possible to perform in this age, Kali Yuga, because they are Manda Samanda Matayu Manda Bhagga Jupadhuta. In this age, people may advertise themselves, they are making very much progress. They are all unfortunate, disturbed. Manda Samanda Matayu Manda Bhagga. Manda Bhagga means unfortunate. And Upadhuta, always disturbed. This is the position of the people in this age. How they can perform the Vedic ritualistic ceremony? It is not possible. So this is the Yajna. So Jaggai Sankirtana. You keep Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and perform Yajna, the Sankirtan Yajna before him, and you become all perfect. So easy. So easy. Because you cannot give up Yajna. But in this age, Kali Yuga, people are so unfortunate, so rubbish, that it is not possible to perform the Vedic ritualistic Yajna. That is not possible. Therefore, Krishna has given you the opportunity that you can perform. Kalotad Hari Kirtana. Kirti Jadhayato Vishnu Titayang Jajato Makhai. Makha means Yajna. That was being performed in the Treta Yuga. And in the Satya Yuga, meditation. And the Dapur Yuga, deity worship. Kalautad Hari Kirtana. And the Kali Yuga, simply by Kirtana Deva Krishna. So this is the Shastra injunction. So I am very pleased that you are keeping this center nicely in our own standard by performing Yajna by Sankirtan, and today is Radha Ashtami. You perform. Our Yajna is Sankirtan, and Srimati Radharani is the pleasure potency of Krishna. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikiti Allahadini Shakti Rasmad Ekatmanavapi Deho Bhedo Gato. Sri Chaitanya Prakatam Taddayam Chekamartam. When Krishna is one, Ekamaya Advityam, but Ekam Bahushyama, he can expand himself. So when he wants to enjoy, so the pleasure potency is manifested from his personal body. That pleasure potency is Radha. Radharani is not ordinary living entity. Radharani is Krishna's personal pleasure potency, Allahadini Shakti. So, thus today is the appearance day of Allahadini Shakti. So, if you want to please Krishna, Because our business is to please Krishna. Haritosana. Our this movement is Haritosana. Samsiddhi Haritosana. Atapung vidijasreshta varnasama vibhagasa. Varnasama vibhagasa. Sanuschitasya dharmasya samsiddhi haritosana. So not only our, this is the aim. And the Bhagavad Gita is also said, Vedashta Sadvai Ameva Vedyam. The whole Vedic literature is meant for searching out Krishna and to satisfy. So Krishna personally comes to give you the information. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. You rascal, you give up all this engagement, simply you surrender. And what about other demigods? There are so many demigods. What do we have to do? The kamastasya hitogyana. This demigod is worshipped by persons who have lost all intelligence. Hitogyana. Hitogyana means nasta buddha. One who has lost intelligence. There is no need. Simply mamekam. That is the instruction of Bhagavad. That is the Shastra instruction. Vishnu aradhate pumsam nannat tattva sukha. Nate vidu sartha bhating Vishnu. Om tad Vishnu paramam padam sada pasya. This is Rig Ved mantra. Actual aim of life is to satisfy Lord Vishnu. And Krishna is the origin of Vishnu Tattva. And he is pleased through Radharani. Therefore we don't keep Krishna alone. No. Radha Krishna. First Radharani. So that day is today. First you have to worship Radharani. If you go through Radharani, therefore in Vrindavan you will see all devotees, they will address one another. Jai Radhe still. Because they know that if Radharani is pleased, if I can please Radharani, Radharani is presented, the original pleasure potency, always absorbed in thought of Krishna. So anyone who comes before Radharani to serve Krishna, she becomes so pleased. Here is a devotee of Krishna. She immediately recommends Krishna, here is a devotee. He is better than me. This is Radharani. I may be not devotee. I may be most fallen, rascal. But if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then my business is successful. Therefore, we should worship Radharani first. That is our business. Instead of offering directly one flower to Krishna, you just put it in the hands of Radharani. My mother Radharani, Jagannatha, if you kindly take this flower and offer to Krishna. Radharani, you have brought a flower. Krishna said, Patram pushpam phalam toyam jivami bhakta prajichyati. But don't try to offer Krishna direct. Just offer to Radharani. It will be very much appreciated by Radharani. So, this is our philosophy, to please Krishna through Radharani, and this today is the auspicious day of Radharani's appearance. So you should offer Pushpanjali and pray to Radharani that Radharani kindly be merciful and tell about me to your Krishna. To your Krishna. Krishna is your. Krishna, Radhar Krishna. Krishna is not independent. Krishna is Radharani's property. So you have to approach Krishna through Radharani. That is today is the auspicious day, worship Radharani very nicely and be happy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we heard a very nice lecture on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, shloka number 5. That also very nicely summarized the appearance day of Srimati Radharani, which is there from few days from now. So we would now request devotees who have participated in hearing this lecture, those who are here physically and those who have heard it online, if you could share one point, any reflection, any realization which you had while listening this lecture, then that will be a very fruitful discussion. It will also help others in meditating more on the instructions received by Srila Prabhupada. So those who want to share any realizations, reflections, can please raise their hands, both online as well as here. Okay, I see someone raising the hand online. Abhishek Mishra, Prabhu, can you unmute yourself and share your realization?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Just a minute, just hang on. We are just trying to send your audio to the loudspeaker television here.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, can you speak? We can hear you.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
So my realization, Prabhu, was basically the most important takeaway came towards the end of the lecture, where Srila Prabhupada was speaking about the glories of Srimati Radharani. And just look at the mercy of Srimati Radharani, that whenever she sees a devotee, she immediately recommends to Krishna that here is a devotee, he is better than me. But just consider our situation where we are so fallen that we can't even be compared anywhere near to Srimati Radharani. But just look at her mercy, that she just says that this devotee is better than me. So I mean, this is really, really very heart touching and a big takeaway, and it inspires me to be more devoted towards Krishna and Radha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Abhishek Prabhu. Anybody else would like to share any realizations? Anybody from here? Any points? Yes, Hemant Prabhu. Sorry, the mic wire is not so big.
Yeah, I can share from the last purport in that. So Prabhupada is telling we should not worship to Krishna independently. So through Radharani only we can worship towards Krishna, so that it will be more helpful. So the benefit will be coming. So if you will direct approach to Krishna, so we don't have that caliber to approach to Krishna independently or directly. So if we'll worship through Radharani, so it will be helpful for more. So as the Radharani will be more merciful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your nice realization. Anybody else would like to share a point?
Hare Krishna. So a lot of points, there are a lot of themes was covered in this particular lecture. So Prabhupada started explaining the three principles, Yajna, Dhyana and Tapa. So he explained how Yajna is meant for Brahmachari, Dhan is meant for, or charity is meant for Grastas, and Tapasya or Tapa is meant for Sannyasi. That's how he explained how spiritual progress happens and how this division has been done very carefully. Apart from this, one more theme Prabhupada repeated in this lecture was regarding the position of Narayan, position of Vishnu, and how Mayavadi philosophy sort of misappropriate this particular position, and they try to give they try to give this position to everyone. So that's why they misappropriate this position. So how he corrects it, what is the actual position of Vishnu? There is one more theme that Prabhupada discussed in this lecture was regarding the appearance of Lord and how to recognize who is God. Then he says it has to be understood through Shastra, and he gave example how many references are there which claims that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God, and he also told how it has been explained what will be the color of God. So there are a lot of references in the way in the Shastras. How do we understand that who is God and who is not God? So that's why we should take a reference of Shastras while analyzing like who is God and all of that stuff. So these are the major themes, and at last obviously that he explained like how come we can serve Krishna through Radharani. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Abhishek Prabhu. You summarized the lecture for us. Anybody else would like to share? Some more points, please. Those who are online. Okay. Some chat messages have come. I'll just read the chat messages. Sudha Mataji is telling, the point I like is that the Lord is beautiful and appears in many colors. We have to use the Shastras as a reference point for everything. Thank you, Sudha Mataji, for this realization, reflection. Anybody else would like to share? Okay, another chat message. Vijay Narsim Prabhu is sharing. Instead of putting flower on Krishna, put it in the hand of Radharani, our mother, which also implies serve those who are serving the Lord. That will make your service complete and please the Lord. Very nice point. So instead of trying to serve God directly, we should try to serve those who are serving the Lord. Thank you, Prabhu, for that point. Anybody else would like to share?
Srimati Radharani is the internal potency of Krishna, and she is none other than Krishna. So, to get a blessing of Krishna and love of Krishna, we should pray to Radharani to get his mercy. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Vikas Prabhu, for so attentively hearing the lectures. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Yes, Maharaj. You can say your point from there. I would repeat whatever you have said.
Like Krishna is not, like Radha is not the property of Krishna. So that means that we have to bring from the God to the part which is he belongs from him. So he cleared that the Radha Rani has a complete, like the Krishna has a part of Radha Rani. So we have to work with the Radha Rani to please our Krishna so that we can get a complete attachment with the Krishna as well as he is a part of Radharani. So this is my realization. Yeah.
Mataji tried to say that we have to, if we want to please Krishna, we have to please Krishna through Srimati Radharani. Did you say that Krishna is a part of Srimati Radharani? I think Prabhupada didn't say that in the lecture. He said that, yeah, property, that is the nature of Krishna. He likes to become a property of his devotees. But in the lecture, Srila Prabhupada clearly mentioned that Srimati Radharani has originated from Krishna and she is the pleasure potency of Krishna. Krishna is not the pleasure potency of Srimati Radharani. So I think nowhere in the lecture Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna is part of Radharani. In fact, Radharani is a part of Krishna, but it is the greatness of Krishna that he likes to become a property of his devotees. And we are not qualified to approach Krishna directly. And because Srimati Radharani is such a humble devotee, the topmost devotee of Krishna. So we should approach Krishna through Srimati Radharani. I think this is the correct understanding. Thank you for your point. It helped us to understand the tattva very nicely. This misconception is there in many places. They say Krishna is a part of Srimati Radharani. So we have to be very clear that is not the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Krishna is Shaktiman, Radharani is Shakti. Shakti cannot be greater than Shaktiman. Hare Krishna. Okay, any other point somebody had said in the chat box? Nishant Prabhu is sharing. Radhashtami is coming. Okay, before that, some more points have come. Sudha Mataji is saying this Radhashtami, we need to please Srimati Radharani, who is the pleasure potency of the Lord. So when Radharani is pleased, the Lord is pleased. Nishant Prabhu is sharing, Radhashtami is coming through Srila Prabhupada lecture. We should, I think Prabhuji is trying to say, prepare our mood for that, as Prabhupada called out, to pray to Radharani. So Nishant Prabhu is telling we should all pray to Radharani. Praveen Prabhu is saying, Shastras are very clear, but still the Baddha Jivas are not in the position to understand the basics. Feel sad and unfortunate to see the Baddha Jivas, but I think some missing text is there. All we can do is to pray to Radharani, please bring the fallen souls to your lotus feet and near to Krishna. So that is a very, very nice prayer. That is the mood of Prahlad Maharaj also. He likes to pray for all the living entities. Thank you, Praveen Prabhu, for that nice point. So I would also like to share some points here, and after that we will see if anybody has any offerings for Srila Prabhupada on the occasion of his Vyas Puja, which was yesterday. Next week, next Sunday, we will fully dedicate for reading the offerings to Srila Prabhupada in various centers, in various places. As His Grace Harikshetra Prabhu highlighted in yesterday's Vyas Puja ceremony, that just like all the leaders in all the 8 different Janmashtami locations, very strategically, methodically, meticulously tried to ensure that each devotee has a service. Very meticulously they raise the funds, very meticulously they plan the services. So with the same meticulous and exhaustive approach, Harikshetra Prabhu has requested all the leaders to ensure that each and every devotee should write an offering for Srila Prabhupada, and that should be sent to the email address which has been circulated so that it gets updated on the website. All the leaders can have a checklist to see that all their Bhakti Vriksha leaders, Bhakti Vriksha members, sector leaders, circle leaders, everybody without any exception should write an offering to Srila Prabhupada. In the words of His Grace Harikshetra Prabhu, love needs to be expressed. So this is an opportunity, this is our sacred responsibility. We have to express it, write it. And next week we will fully dedicate to the reading of offerings by various devotees. But if any devotee already has it ready and would like to share their heart or their gratitude towards Prabhupada through their offering, you are welcome. So I would like to summarize today's lecture with some points. Srila Prabhupada said that Yagya, Dana and Tapa cannot be stopped in any circumstances. He was giving the example of some Mayavadi sannyasis who take karma sannyas. So there's no such renunciation or any exalted position where someone can say, okay, I do not need to practice austerity. I have become a sannyasi, so let me just wake up at 8 a.m. and not at 4 a.m. like that. And then austerities should be done for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu, otherwise it's a waste of time. He went on to highlight the wrong conception of God, how there were personalities like Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna who were bringing in the philosophy of Daridra Narayan. Prabhupada gave an analogy that just like if you take a piece of paper and if you tear the paper into various parts and throw it away, then the original paper doesn't remain. So Prabhupada is giving that these Mayavadis, they try to understand God through their limited, tiny brain, and they compare God to a paper. And they say that because he has expanded in so many multiforms, so his original personality is completely lost and diffused. But then to revert this statement, he gives the example or quotation from Ishopanishad where he says, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Even if one takes out unlimited complete units from the Lord, still that which remains is the complete Lord. So in another lecture, Prabhupada says, in spiritual world, 1 plus 1 is 1 and 1 minus 1 is also 1. This is the meaning of Purnasya Purnamadaya. He said that God cannot be recognized by the process of voting, but God has to be understood and recognized through the Shastra Vidhi. Prabhupada explained the various Yuga Dharmas of Satyuga, Dwapar, Treta and Kali. And he said that in Kali Yuga, only Sankirtan Yajna will help. And only the most intelligent people in the human society will perform Sankirtan Yajna, because for all others, they will have dull brain or a brain filled with cow dung. So indirectly, he was telling that those who do not perform Sankirtan Yajna, their brain is filled with cow dung. He said the secret of success is keep Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in front of you and just go on performing Sankirtan Yajna, and by the mercy of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will become perfect. Towards the end of the lecture, he said, the pleasure potency of Krishna is Srimati Radharani. The greatness of Srimati Radharani is that she is always absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. And if we try to please Krishna through Radharani, then we will be successful. Srila Prabhupada said that we should all pray that, my dear Srimati Radharani, please be merciful to me and tell about me to your Krishna. So this is the mood in which devotees approach Srimati Radharani as guided by Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. If anybody would like to read their offerings or if they have some more points, they are welcome. Any announcements? Any further announcements? Okay. So in that case, we would like to close today's discussion, which was a very nourishing activity of exclusively hearing Srila Prabhupada's transcendental Vani. We would now do the Narsim Aarti and close today's Sunday feast Prabhupada lecture hearing. Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Hlad Daine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatanka Nakhalaye Ito Narsingha Bharato Narsingho Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingha Bahir Narsingho Hridaye Narsingho Narasimham Madhim Charanam Kapade Tav तव कर कमलवरे नखां अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु कानुभेंगा वृषभदेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु कानुभेंगा वृषभदेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय केशव धृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह देव भगवान की भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की